Hello explorers and welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about Jitsi Meet. And this is something that you can use for conference calls. So it's kind of like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and other such software where you actually are meeting not face-to-face, one-to-one, where you're actually in a conference call with a lot of different people and you have communications by webcam and by using your mic. So Zoom is very much used today to actually have online meetings, and Jitsi is open source, so you can install it on your own system and get it up and running and just use it in your own environment, and it's secure. It uses WebRTC, and it's I think a little bit superior to the other solutions because you can self-host it. So let's jump over here to my other screen. So let's see here. We have the quick install guide here. So this is what we need to do. And if we look at this, it's pretty simple. It's not that much text and most of it is optional. The only thing we need to do is do some pre-install here. We need to run some apt-get in our Debian environment. We can set up Let's Encrypt and then change some values down here. So let's do this very simple setup. I have a totally clean install of Debian. I just have fixed so I can actually log into it via SSH. So there should not be that much installed here. So do an update just so we actually have the latest packages. So we might find these packages that are required to be installed. Let's do the first thing here. We need to get the stable list of Jitsi packages. So let's copy that. So that will set the deb location of download Jitsi org stable into our sources list, and it will be a separate sources list in the apt directory. So apt will look there as well. Then we will do a vget to get the GNU private key. So it will actually get a key for this apt. So we install that in order for the apt to accept the packages and actually know that they are Jitsi packages that are safe to install. So we will install that, and now when it installs that, it tells us that we don't have GNU PG, PG2 or PG1. So I need to install one of those. So let's apt install GNU PG2 because that's the latest one, I guess. And I'm just gonna accept that one. So now we install the tools required to actually get the key, work with the key, and install the key in our system. So let's go back to this line here. We run that and we get an OK. So we know that that key is now installed in our system. So now we can install packages from the Jitsi site. So first off, we need to install apt transport HTTPS. I don't know if that's from the Jitsi or if it's a standard package, but that is one of the required one. Yeah, it's from the standard. Then we need to do an apt-get update to actually get the Jitsi things as well into our system. And then we will install Jitsi Meet. So this will run the installation of Jitsi Meet. And that software will have things for video conferencing. So it will have a video bridge, it will have Yai Kofo, and it will install an Nginx web server. It will install different proxy servers like Prosody and so on. So let's give this a host name. I had sauron and And let's see here, we can have a self-signed certificate. I wonder if I actually should have given a full domain for this host as well. I will go in and look at the Nginx configuration later on. That might have been a better solution for me. So now it installs the video bridge, unpackage that and install that to the system. It's not that much of a setup actually. It's if you want to have your own keys, your own setup with certificates and so on, then it's a little bit more. You need to say that you don't want a self-signed certificate, and then you need to add the certificate using Let's Encrypt, for instance. Or if you have already a key, then you can use that, of course. So let's see here. It should be done soon here. So I wonder if it actually will set up it to be just Sauron. Then I need to do a little bit of a setup change in my Windows environment, but I think I will do that anyway in order to get this to work. I'm not sure if it actually will work with just using an IP. So now it sets up the certificates and copy those over and creates an auth domain. So and now it's setting up the turn server and the Jitsi meet and run some triggers for some other system environment hooks here. So now it's all installed. So let's look at the etc here and Jitsi meet. So here we have keys for Sauron. Let's go into the Nginx. Let's go into the Nginx directory and go into sites available, and then we just have Sauron here. So I should have actually given it a full name like sauronea.org. Now it's just called Sauron, but that's fine. So now that's set up here. I need to check the etc here, so we actually have that host name in our hosts. And I have Sauron and sauronea.org. And I believe that the IP of this system should be 192, 168, 99, 1115. So if we ping Sauron here, it actually answers. Great. And now in my host system here, my Windows, I will actually edit a host file here. So here I had one called 15, and I will create one that is called just Sauron as well. So that's the host file in Windows, and I will copy that into the directory because you can't actually edit it right in your host directory. So here we have Windows, System32, drivers, etc. There you have a host file in Windows 7. And when you have updated that, you can actually go over to a web browser and go to Sauron. HTTPS Sauron. Let's see. Why is it? Yeah, so now it's gone there and it says that you have not a private connection because it's not open publicly. And it's a self-signed certificate, so it's not safe, but I will go there anyway. So now I am at Jitsi meet at Sauron. So let's create a new here. Let's call it my room. There, and run. So that's in Swedish, and I will allow my camera and microphone. So I should be able to. Okay, I can't get the camera now because I'm actually using the camera in another room here, but you see that I'm actually talking here, And if I had my camera in the system, I would actually have it up here. And I don't think I can change to a different camera. Let's continue to access. Yeah, manage. I wonder if I can have another camera. So if I had the camera here, I could actually show you that. And if we go over to an incognito window and then go to Sauron here as well, HTTPS, Sauron, and it goes over there. And here I should be able to see my room. So why didn't it give me, why didn't I see the same room over here? Yeah, so if we look at that view, you see that I have 2 people logged in at the same time here. So these are the 2 different logins of myself. And if I had the camera, I could have shown you that we have 2 images here. And if we go over here and see how much it actually uses on my system. So this is a machine with 4 gigs of RAM and 1 CPU of, I think, 2.7 gigahertz. So it's not that fast CPU, and it's not that much memory. And you see here that you have a couple of Java processes, but it's not using even 10% of your CPU, even though you are running 2 separate calls into the system, and it uses negligible amounts of memory as well. So if you set this up and have a conference call on a pretty powerful PC, should be able to have a call with tens or maybe up to 50 people without actually stressing the system totally down. So this was what I wanted to show you today and talk about Jitsi. And I hope that you found this interesting. I hope that you will look into this as well. Another thing that you can do in your system, if we go over here, if you have system D, and in a Debian environment you have that usually, so then you can go into the system D, system conf, and add a few lines to this, because the default values of connections are not really good if you have a lot of participants. So if I just copy in these lines and then reboot the computer or reboot system D, you should be able to have more than 100 participants. But then again, if you have 100 participants, maybe that room will be a little more crowded than you actually want to have your video conference at. You don't really want to have that many people if everybody should be able to talk and interact. So maybe you should scale it down anyway. I think when we have our weekly meetings where we drink coffee together, we are usually 30 people or so. So I think that's a pretty good limit to what you should look for in these kind of solutions. They are sociable. It's really good when you are doing work to actually talk to your coworkers and actually meet face to face, even though it's over a camera, because we might not be able to meet face to face and shake hands now that we have this time that we are in. So I hope that you found this video interesting. I hope that you learned something today. Perhaps you are interested in looking into Jitsi and install that in your own organization. There is an online way to go on this. If you go to meet.jit.z, then you will actually be able to run this video conferencing solution as well. And If you find this video interesting and have any comments, suggestions, and so on, leave them down in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And I really hope to see you in the next video.